Alright guys, so I just hit the record button on this video. This video, as the title says, is my thoughts on the HTC Ultra or the HTC U. You'll see a lot of videos going up from a lot of YouTubers because I think a lot of us want to give our opinions on it. We don't have it. Well, I don't have it. So at CES it was there, but shout out to TK, he didn't get a chance to really touch it and play with it either. They kept it under wraps, and I didn't even know it was there, actually. But the HTC U, I've got the specs pulled up here on my Make 9, just kind of scanning through. First impressions of the device, wow, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful looking device. It's got, let me jump way down here. I was kind of, shout out to the people in the Tech Talk crew. We were having a discussion early this morning, and we were kind of talking about what HTC did right and probably a lot of the things they did wrong. Now, not having the device in hand, this is pretty much just our point of view on it and speculation, or just pretty much how we feel about it. And I can speak, this is how I feel about it. So the first comment that I made, and one of the comments that I made, was about the price. Now, $750. $750 on pre-order for a full cost. I got a question for HTC. Who is your target audience? Pause. Who are you selling this phone to? Like, who is your target audience? For me, $749.99 plus tax comes to almost like $835, $840 pretty much out the door for me. So that's a lot of money for a consumer to kick out for a phone that they've never had no hands-on with, and they're just taking your word for it, and we're just reading the specs. But who is your target audience? Because there's no demos out to the public yet. Only tech bloggers can get it. And that is the wrong way to sell a device, by the way. So they have HTC Sense Companion, which is kind of like a augmented reality type deal, like Google and Alexa and all these type of different. Oh, I said her name. She's lighting up. Okay, so like that type of deal. An assistant is what it is. So that's cool. You've got 3D audio, which pretty much doesn't mean anything to the average consumer. We just want to know that it's got good audio. HTC is known for having a good DAC in some of the devices, so I'm pretty sure this will have sweet audio in it. You've got a dual display. Now, here is some of the things where I'm starting to think, what are you doing, HTC? Why don't you just give us another Pixel 2 or another, make some Nexus devices, something. But the dual display, we all automatically, especially if you're in the tech world, we think of the V20 and the V10. Those are the phones that we think of. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why in the world did they do that? Like, what was the reasoning behind that? Come on with some originality. I'm not going to bash them in this video. I'm just kind of pointing out the facts and the obvious. Why did they go with a secondary display up there, just like LG has been doing for the last 2 iterations of their phones in this V series? Give us something else. You know, that's a feature that I never even used on a phone on the V10 and the V20. I liked it, but I just put my name up there and called it a day. And that's just the facts. That's all I did with it. So you got a 16 megapixel front shooter on there. And I got a feeling, and they call it with ultra selfie, it's the ultra pixels. I got a feeling that the front camera is probably going to be a little bit better than the rear camera. I don't know if that's what's happening here lately with some of these devices. Sony, for example, their front camera on one of their main sellers is better than their rear camera. Rear camera doesn't have optical image stabilization, but the front does. I don't get it. The rear camera on there is a 12 megapixel with optical image stabilization, so that should be pretty cool. Again, the phone just doesn't snap out at me. You know, I don't want to buy a phone based on the way it looks. That does play a part, but it's about this much. You know, I want something that actually functions. And there are worlds of other phones, like the phone I'm recording on right now. You're probably wondering which one it is. I'll go ahead and tell you right now. This is the Axon 7's front camera. Not doing any audio tweaks, nothing. This is going to go directly to YouTube, upload straight from the device. So this phone right here alone, the quality of the front camera is amazing. You know, so just the rear camera, there are some upgrades coming. For you guys that don't have Nougat on your Axon 7 yet, just be prepared to be amazed. It is good. So, the front camera on this Axon 7 is mind-blowing compared to a lot of other phones. But we shall see. The cameras on there, the main camera has a 1.8 aperture, so that they're trying to get close to Sammy with that. HDR, 4K, the same old stuff. Now let's get some of the body. It has a 5.7-inch Quad HD display. And at this point, that's nothing to jump up and down about because this phone right here has a 1080p display and it's 5.9 inches and it's gorgeous. A lot of people who have this phone, we all think pretty much along the same lines. It could pass for an AMOLED display. That's how good it is. So the 5.7-inch Quad HD display, there's something coupled with that that's gonna bring this phone probably down, and it's gonna be that 3,000 milliamp hour battery. They put a 3,000 milliamp hour battery in the new HTC Ultra. Ultra probably should be more like this phone with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Another thing is it has a Snapdragon 821. Now some people are saying that, oh, that's garbage, it's not worth it. The Snapdragon 821 is a pretty good processor. It's the top of the line Snapdragon right now. We've heard about the 835, but it's not out yet, so we can't talk about that. We have no hands-on with it yet. So the Snapdragon 821 is the beast right now from Snapdragon, so it's got to be good. That's why they went with it. It has Corning Gorilla Glass 5, and that doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a screen. But I think overall, man, it's clocked at 2.15 gigahertz, by the way, also. So 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs onboard storage. And obviously you can expand it up to 2 terabytes, but there are no 2 terabyte cards that are worth buying or for sale right now. So how do I feel about the HTC Ultra? It looks like a cool device. It looks like they had some dealings with other OEMs and decided we're going to take some of your ideas and put them all in ours. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't have any hands-on yet, so I'm not going to say whether it's a fantastic device or. I got to tell you, it looks good though. It looks good. I got some promo codes from Microsoft to spend more money. I'm straight checking my email right now. Hey, that looked like a good email. But the HTC Ultra, guys, to me, it's competing with phones like this. This phone is $599. It's competing with the phone I'm recording with, which is $500. I mean, $400. You can grab these phones for great prices. I haven't used my Axon 7 as a daily driver since I went to the ZTE event, because I switched over to here to start using this. But my review video for the Axon 7 is coming, but I wanted to shoot this video with the Axon 7 let you guys know it's still in rotation. I put a D-brand skin on it. I haven't showed you guys any of that, I don't believe, yet in video, but you will see it in an upcoming video. But the HTC U or HTC Ultra, they dropped this phone in the middle of the morning, the midnight hours. It came out like 2 a.m., the video stream went up. And I know they're going on their time zone, and that's fine. And to me, if you're going to sell it in the U.S., I want to see the launch at a reasonable hour. Like, come on. No one even knows that this phone is out. So that's why I'm saying, who is your target audience, HTC? It's definitely not me, because I'm going to do the math right now as I get my calculator out on my Mate 9. I'm going to do the math right now, and I don't know who their target audience is. I really don't. So $749, I'll give you my exact price. Times 8.25, I have some serious taxes. That's $61.87. So $61.87 plus $749.99. That's $811 for me that I have to pay out of the door to get that phone, which I've had no hands-on time with. I think that HTC is a fantastic company. They're a great company. But to me, this is the wrong way to sell your product. You can't do a Google. You can't throw the Pixel, like you can't put the price out there like the Pixel and it do well like the Pixel. The Pixel is one of the best phones that hit the market. And it's priced really high. But we're talking about Google. They're pretty much running the search engine game, and they're now pulling into the smartphone game. So, only thing I can think of is, that question that I asked, who is your target audience? Because if you're trying to compete with the likes of this and the Axon 7 and what's some other phones that's kind of in there, the Honor series, like the Honor 8s and those, the V8 Pros. Now you guys are starting to think of processors and all that thing, but I'm thinking about the average consumer, because again, who is the target audience for the HTC U or the HTC Ultra? Who is the target audience for that? I mean, look at how good the quality is on the front camera on the Axon 7. Now, I don't have any hands-on time with the HTC U, but the camera on that is good. Like the front camera on this one, the rear cameras are fantastic on here, but the front camera on this phone is fantastic. The front camera on this HTC, this Axon 7 is amazing. Audio quality, I'm not doing any editing. This is, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's going to go straight to YouTube. So HTC, I like the way the phone, and I didn't touch much on the body, but I gave you kind of the technical side, but here's how I feel about the phone, the way it looks. I don't want another glass phone. I have an Honor 8. I'm looking for some metal like this, or the metal that's on my HTC, my Axon 7. The glass front and back, leave that to Samsung, I guess I want to say. Do something different. I know you've already made the product, but that phone is going to be a phone, just like Apple released that jet black iPhone. That thing, and then they tell you, oh, you need to hurry and put a case on it, though, because it's going to be prone to scratches. Come on, man. Just stop it. HTC, the phone looks beautiful, but it's way too glossy for me. I'd put like a matte skin on it or something like that, or some kind of carbon fiber. And that's what you don't want to have to do to your phones as soon as you get them out of the box. But the HTC U is $749.99. It's on pre-order right now. Would you buy that over this Axon 7 that I'm recording with? Probably not. Stereo sound on here, the DAC, the screen. I don't know. And it's in line, even though the Axon 7 costs less than the HTC Ultra. It's still there. Like these are both this is ZTE's flagship. It's ZTE's flagship. So you can't say, well, it costs less. I've heard people say, well, you're comparing apples and oranges. No, I'm comparing what's out on the market. And this is the offering from ZTE. The Axon 7 is their flagship right now. It's pretty much a good competitor for a phone like the HTC Ultra. So what, it has the Snapdragon 821. That doesn't matter. And I think it's a great comparison because the price point on the Axon 7 is a world's better. $300, $350 less. So why would I get the Ultra over the Axon 7? So quick comparison before I end the video. Since I'm recording with the Axon 7, the quality to me is fantastic. I'm seeing in the viewfinder here. I've got stereo speakers on here, a 5.5-inch Quad HD display, so I get a higher pixel count or resolution. This it's running 6.0, and I'm running 7.0, but you guys will have 7.0 soon. So basically, the Axon 7 is running 7.0. So they both run Nougat. Now, this one has a 820, and the Ultra has a 821, and they're clocked at the same speed. And they both run an Adreno 530. They both have 64 gigs or 4 gigs of RAM. This has a 20 megapixel and an 8 megapixel on the front. They both shoot in 4K. But this has now we already know the DAC is going to be better in this phone. 32-bit audio. The Ultra has 24. This has Dolby Atmos audio. I mean, I could just go on. The point I'm making is, did HTC really bring something new to the table? You decide in the comments. It's your man, Jay Will. I'm going to do a direct upload. Right now, I'm still enjoying the beast. Look for a full revisited video on this beautiful Axon 7 that I'm rocking with. Look for some updates on some of my other ZTE products. Look for a sneak peek about the V8 Pro. That should be hitting the market soon. But it's your man, Jay Will. I'm out. Straight to YouTube, baby. I'm not going to do no edits. The audio is what it is. You get to see how great the Axon 7 still is. So Axon owners, you should be proud of your device because you've got a winner. It's your man, Jay Will. I'm out.